but the fact that I can use my shifter and assign keys to my shifter. Yeah, they are. So, the guy we're admins for, which is Frifgar, I don't know if you've heard of him or not. He was the original farming sim time lapse guy. He was the first one to do those. Our other guy that not here at the moment, unfortunately, and I do miss him, Mr. Smudo. He's in charge of taking care of the multiplayer map on his Discord, and he had a good setup for people playing the game. It's Patrio, yeah. Yeah. So people had their own farms and all that, and they would he would offer up sort of contracts to bid on to do certain things to make money. So people would put a bid in to do a field or something like that. Sort of like a contract type deal, but having your own farms as well and making the money that way. Unfortunately, that, like most multiplayer farming sim multiplayers, sort of died towards the end. But I suppose the good news is it's all set up ready to go for FS22, so I'm sure with that it'll liven up again. Yeah, well, it was pretty cool. I didn't get on there much because unfortunately the server is based in Germany, because most of his viewers are either from the States or Europe, so it sort of suits the Northern Hemisphere a lot. The ping for me is just horrendous. Made it difficult to play the game. So, but I used to go on there a lot because originally it was Smudo and myself that found the maps and decided on the mods and set it up and all that kind of stuff. And we also used the server when Frifka used to do some live streams with it as we played together. But unfortunately he doesn't have the time for that anymore, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So I never got to do that type of thing there, the game style. But the guys were having a lot of fun doing it because it was a lot of activity for a long time. But like I said, I mean, I've been on a few Discord servers that have a lot of multiplayer people that join in and stuff, but they always end up dying over a bit of time. Which is the quickest and best way to get back to the booth? Actually, I'll send this off and grab the truck. I'll let auto drive decide which way is the best way to go back. Actually, I'll send it off to the wash bay to be hosed down, cooled off after a hard day at work. Off you go. Alright, the truck. Actually, oh yeah, save the game. Good idea. The truck's down here, isn't it? It's not that far away. So where's this going to? Okay, and where would that be exactly? Is that the one that's up over here by the booth, miles away? Yeah, it is miles. Oh, well, that's a good thing. I can collect these up, put auto drive on, and I can finish my coffee while we're driving there. And you can all pretend I'm the one doing the driving. How's that? The other thing too is we've used this on 2 fields. Now, for anyone new watching, there's basically a bit of a backstory to what we're doing here. We're actually on our 3rd map And the reason we're on our third map is because the first map, as beautiful it was, probably one of the best maps, or the best Farming Simulator 19 maps I've ever been on. And that's saying a lot, because I'm a fan of 4 times and bigger maps, and that was a 2 times standard map. Based in Poland, really well done, really, really well done. Absolutely gorgeous map that was. The only problem was it had over 200 fields. So it actually, when you brought the map up, it looked like it was a 4 times map, but it was just a 2 times map. And it had this beautiful, well, seasons, if you use seasons, it had in late autumn and early spring, it had this beautiful frost texture all over the grass and trees and the lily pads and the creeks and ponds and stuff. It was really nice. But the problem was the guy that did the map had the fields really, really close together, and they weren't square fields. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit of a runny nose, I think. Anyway, and if you're unaware about setting up fields like odd-shaped fields in Giants Editor, it's not an easy thing to do, because the way they have you set it up now. What you do in Giants Editor is you basically, it's like landscaping. So when you do a field like this one here, you basically paint it on the ground and you put the texture you want. And then you've actually got to go in and set up the field definitions, and you do that by putting down points on the ground. But what they do, like with a square field, how you do a square field is you actually, it only gives you 3 points to put down, not 4 for each corner. So you put one down on one corner, say bottom left, then you put another point down on the bottom right, and then you put another one on the top right, and then it'll figure out the dimension in a square like that with the 3 points. So trying to do that with a odd shaped field is not easy. You can have like a lot of them you've got to put on, like 20 or 30 of these 3 point things on. So more often than not, you'll have an overlap. There'll be overlaps on the field of all the points, and an overlap off the field. And when you got on that particular map, because they were so close together, you had a lot of overlap from one field to another. Like on this one, there'll be a lot of overlap, but there's enough gap between them to be able to, for the AI to differentiate between the two fields, where on that one course plate couldn't. It would pick up 3 or 4 fields as one field. So, and the reason that was a bit of a shame is because our goal here is to build up a big contracting business with a huge fleet, and to be able to do a whole year in seasons where none of us do the work, but our hired workers do the work. So we're sort of hiring the local workers and providing economy to the local town. So Course Babe, being our local workers, our hired workers, does all the jobs for 1 year. That's our goal. With a huge fleet of trucks, tractors, combines, everything. And so we couldn't do that. So I moved to Chellington, which was one of my favourite maps by Oxygen David. Because in 15 I played this 2 times map, and then someone with his permission made a 4 times map in 15, which I never got to do. And of course there wasn't one in, it wasn't brought into 17, and 17 you only had the 2 times map done by Oxygen David. Now he's done a 4 times map, so we tried that. Which was really, really neat, really well done and everything, but it, for some reason, made my computer restart. So we'd be streaming it, and then my computer would shut down and restart. So that's the reason why we ended up with this map. But the whole thing was is that we came from, we used to work in the city. We decided to try a hand at working on the farm with no experience. So we came down, we got a loan from the bank, and the bank would only give us 300,000 euros. which was enough to buy a farm that was being sold off and one pickup. So we decided to do contracts to get a bit of experience and save up money to be able to buy our equipment and stuff. But we did a good job at being a contract. That's how we ended up deciding to stick with the contracting side of things. At the moment we do have I have my own farm. Smudo has his own farm, but like I said, he's just got some IRL stuff he's got to deal with at the moment, so he hasn't been around for a little bit, and hopefully he will be coming back. It was field 79 we were on, So I'm dealing with cows at the moment, hope to get some, and chickens, and hope to get some sheep as well. And we own two fields. So the rest of the fields are for the contracts to try and build up our big contracting company. So that's the backstory. So we try to make it as realistic as possible. Admittedly, it's a little less realistic than when we started off with. But there were some things that I knew I wasn't going to do that was realistic. And obviously one of those is using the auto-load trailer. And as I said before, the reason behind it. So what I do is we compensate for that. Every time we use the auto-load trailer, we take out 50 euros from the balance to say that we're paying someone that is loading the trailer. So there's a bit of compromise there. So basically, you know, we've hired someone that's the one that's putting the bales onto the trailer, and for each field it's used, it's 50 euros taken out at the end of the day. The other unrealistic thing is using super strength, and the reason for that is we use it to unload pallets or anything like that at a shop. And the basis behind that is because it's unrealistic anyway to have to buy a forklift or a bale fork with a tractor just to unload it at a shop. The shop in real life will have their own equipment to unload the truck, because that's what they deal in, that's their business. You don't turn up with your own stuff to unload your bales and stuff like that. They've got that equipment there. So, and it's one thing about this game I didn't understand. Because you got to buy the equipment to do that, and then obviously it gets taken out every night, and then you got to repair it and stuff. So that's the reason we sort of use super strength for that. Yeah, actually, that I totally agree with. It is actually a shame with the time difference, dude. It really is. And actually, spending the whole day talking with you, I would actually have loved you to join if you wanted to at any stage. And quite frankly, if you're around and you want to, you're quite welcome to. Because I think it's quite clear that you're not that 1%, which it's normally quite clear for most people. Like I said, it's, you know, it's that 1% of idiots on the internet that just makes everyone else be cautious, and then the other 99% have to miss out and wait. And it's just a shame that those 1%, but there's always the 1% in any situation in life that's got to make it a bit annoying for everyone else, that we've all got to adjust our way of thinking to account for them just in case they turn up, because that 1% makes such a pain in the ass situation from their existence and their of just being there, you know. It's such a huge impact that we're forced to think like this or act like this. But hopefully, like I said, if the channel grows and all that, whatever I make from this will probably go into the channel anyway. And if ends up that, you know, I make a little cash, regular cash, enough to get a dedicated server to justify having one to only be used once or twice a week, then yeah, I'd be happy to. And then I'll be happy to say to anyone, oh, you want to join? Yeah, they do stand out, and they stand out because it's such it's away from the norm, isn't it? You always notice something that you don't see regularly that often because it's just something totally different. That's why it makes it so noticeable. Otherwise, you don't really notice anything that's a regular day occurrence. I'm enjoying the fact I can drink my coffee slowly, obviously. That I have to do in the driving. But yeah. But yeah, it'll be like that. I mean, more the merrier. I'm happy with that. Obviously, there's a limit to the MP server, and the people, I always maintain that the people who contribute to this channel, one way or another, whether it's subscriptions or chatting away and watching, being regulars, then well, people I know well, they'll always be the first ones allowed on. Yeah, but that's always been life, isn't it, Medic? AM, unfortunately. That's the reason why we require laws and governments and stuff, because they've got to consider the 1%. So they don't become too much of a ruckus. Give them just enough to keep them happy, but not enough to stop them from being idiots. Just enough to stop them from being complete idiots. But if you stream and play roughly at the same time, switching on Saturday, yeah. This stream with the farming sim is a regular feature for today. We do it twice a week, but it's the second stream that's alternate because of Patrio's work. Sometimes he works on a Monday, sometimes he has a Monday off. And sometimes he works on the Tuesday, and sometimes he has the Tuesday off. So this week he's got tomorrow off, so we'll be doing this again tomorrow. But next week we'll be doing a Sunday Tuesday instead of a Sunday Monday. But Sunday is always a day that I do stream. We do stream this farming sim. So if you reckon you want to come along and join, and you can do it, then you're quite welcome to come along. And join in for sure.
Yeah, here's to hoping they don't mess my roster too much coming into the December month.
But yeah.
And so far for the Black Friday thing, my roster hasn't really changed much. I think there's 1 or 2 days where I'll be working till 7 o'clock at night instead of the usual 5:30, which is no real biggie. But the actual days that I have on and off, thankfully, haven't been shuffled around any yet.
Yeah, always call their bluff, eh, Aussie? Always call their bluff. All right, well, yeah, I mean, we'll find out. You let me know anyway. So, yeah, for the most part, it's always going to be a Sunday. Well, I've always had the thing, I always want to do a multiplayer once or twice a week. Anyway, because I enjoy playing multiplayer. It's a lot more fun playing any game in multiplayer for the most part. So, and Farming Sim is one of the ones that I know everyone sort of got. I know a lot of people with Trucking Simulator as well, but the majority of them aren't around because of the time. Well, they are around, I suppose, but I mean, at the moment, I've got the little competition that I'm doing between ATS and ETS, which really isn't ideal to have a multiplayer situation with the trucking sims with that anyway. But what I've decided on that fact, and this is very mostly anyone watching if you want to join, is that with the trucking sims, what I've got is I've got a mod that has seasons in it: spring, summer, autumn / fall, and winter. Oh, okay, fine. I'll do the drive. If you, that's too much thinking to avoid that, I'll do the drive. Mind you, my earlier driving, I can't really speak, can I? There you go. You're welcome. Yeah. So, but unlike seasons in this, those season mods are individual mods. So I've got one mod that does spring, one mod that does summer, two mods that does autumn / fall, and two mods that do winter. The winter one's actually by choice because the winter one is it's called Frosty, and it does a snow everywhere. And then I've got an add-on that I put on, which is heavy winter, which adds more snow onto the roads and around the place and stuff. But for some reason he's done two autumn / fall ones, but there's early autumn and then there's late autumn, but that's also called late autumn mild winter, so you can use it as a sort of a winter without snow if you want to. But what I do is I spend 4 streams on each season and then swap the mods over. So what I've decided to do now is when I've done the 4 streams with one season about to switch over, in between I'm going to do a convoy mode for people that want to just come along and drive around trucks and just muck about, and do 1 week of that and then head into the next season. So Darkus, yeah, if you want to join, you're very welcome to, really are. And if you want to do that, you can just type into chat, provided you've got Discord. Type into chat !, Discord, and that'll give you a link to my rather unfinished Discord channel. And just give me a DM, say you want to join in, and then I'll give you access to the stream side of it, and a link to the mods and everything there. Should work. Why didn't that work? No, I've been having trouble with me bots working and not working. Has any of the bot stuff come up today? I'm pretty sure I've got that set to anyone can use that command. Hang on, I'll try it out. Unless I've named it something else. Oh, there we go. And Streamlabs does it twice now. Alright. Thanks, Patrio. I'm reaching over to my cell phone. Yeah, I thought I had that for anyone to be able to... I'll have to check that. And I don't know why Streamlabs... See, Streamlabs wouldn't work for a little bit, and now it's working, and it's like it's trying to make up for the fact that it missed a few streams while not working by doubling everything up.
Well, it just took its time to wake up to respond to the command and then caught me on the second one.
No, the trucking sim ones I've been putting in ! truck, which is the rules and the thing I'm doing, and it always posts too. We've noticed that. It's been doing that since I got it back up and running. It's been posting things twice. And the weird thing too is when I get a follow, Streamlabs now goes, thanks for the follow, where it never used to either. It was just Stream Elements that did that. Right now Streamlabs is added into that, so I don't know why it's doubling up. What I did do though was, because it wasn't working, is I re-put in the command to make it a moderator and connect it, and it says it already was, but maybe it's just accepted that as command, and so it's there twice. Possibly, I don't know. I'd rather it be working twice as hard than not working at all.
spoken like a true manager. Yeah, which I will admit, that was, in my opinion, a bit of a toxic mentality from my last job. The one rule that the boss had was, there's no such thing as free time. And I'm like,
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people like that, I pay you to work. So what you do is you pay me to do this amount of money's worth of work in an hour. If I do that amount of money's work in half an hour, then as far as I'm concerned, I've got half an hour free because you've got your money's worth. I have a worth as well.
Yeah, I just made it my little game to take care of every single, like if I had a quiet day and there's no actual orders, you know, you'd go through and clean the warehouse, straighten the stock, you know, just start running through the list of everything that you could possibly be told to do, get to the bottom of this, and then you go to the boss and say, all right, I've got nothing to do. Oh, there's this, done. There's this, done. And you just keep that game up. Nice.
The noise, jeez. I mean, seriously, if you know what the job is, then you expect what comes with the job. You sit there and complain about it.
Yeah, that was one that always used to get me was, with my last job, they're always constantly doing a bunch of either building maintenance or upgrade works. So every couple of days, someone will be somewhere in the building with a hammer drill coming through the masonry, and you could just hear it, and I hate that noise.
Oh, you do water treatment? Yeah, that would be... Well, obviously it's easy because you've got the vacs and pumps and everything else that's going with it, and that'll be heavy industrial stuff. Put the water back on. Turn on the tap. Nice. Yeah. I just think, well, I think it's a hard one. Like I said, I think I've said it before. I had a really good boss that was always on the thing about a business is there for the people. You have a business to make money, and you make money so you can have a comfortable life. So you come into work, you're there to make the business work, to make money. In return, you get money back. Because if the business doesn't make money, then you don't have a job. But he was really good. All he cared about is, I'm paying you this much an hour to do this amount of work an hour. As long as the job's done, I don't care if you do it in 10 minutes or in an hour. As long as the job's done. So if you had nothing done and everything like that, he was really good about you not working, taking a break or doing other bits and pieces. He didn't care about it because his value was the person's more important, worth more value than the job. But there's people out there that think that I'm paying you this much an hour, which means you got to do anything I tell you to do for every second of that hour, and that's devaluing the person's. As a person, their value as a person, when you're making, like if you're getting paid something ridiculous like $15 an hour, then, and you're acting treated like a slave, if you got to do all this work and constantly work and find things, niggly things to do in that hour. I don't know if I'm explaining how I look at it. I mean, you go to work, you work. I never stopped. I mean, I worked more hard and I worked longer than I should have. Always did overtime, worked longer, went past the time I was supposed to be going home, because I wanted to put an effort in, and I'm a people pleaser. But I think there's got to be a point where a person's should have more value and more importance in the business. If the business is making money and making good money, That's the point of a business. And there's a point where you get bosses that just think they're more slave drivers than employees. And that's the people that I don't agree with. That's the people that devalue you as a human being.
And then in the next management meeting, why is our turnover so high? So weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you know. It's just ridiculous. And employees tend to forget that, well, business owners tend to forget. Yes, they were lucky enough to save up and be able to buy their own business. Okay, good on you. Not everyone has that opportunity. It doesn't mean you were harder worker than anyone else. You might have been a hard worker, but you also had a bit of luck is always involved when it comes to work and being employed and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people get employed, go to a job interview. There's about 20 people go for a job interview. The person that gets picked is not necessarily the best one for the job. It's just a bit of luck and the way you were at the interview and how you got along with the person interviewing doesn't mean you got chosen because you definitely are the better person out of all those 20 people for the job, or the best worker out of the whole 20. It just comes down to a bit of luck, and there's people that are lucky enough to save and lucky enough to get a better job. It doesn't matter how much you study or what degree you get. There's people that are better at certain things than other people are. That's just the way it is. That's why we win sports. You have people that are better sport players. It's because they're naturally gifted, or they're made up to be able to play better than the next person. It's just human nature. It's just the way it is. And I've sort of lost track of what my point I was going to make was. So when you're a boss, yes, you own the business, everything else, and you do it because you want to provide a better life for yourself. I'm all for that. But there's a reason why you employ people, and the reason why you employ people is because you need a certain thing to be done to make your business work. You don't have the time to do it yourself, so you employ someone to do it. And it's in that person's interest as much as the business owner's interest for the business to work. Because you're both there for the same reason at the end of the day, and that is to make money, to make a wage, to have a better life, more comfortable life. So it's just in the same interest as the person that you employed for the business to work. So you're working together more than anything else, you know? I mean, sure, you got more of a risk as a business owner if it doesn't work out, but that's what you take on board if you want to own a business. You accept that. That's, you know? Am I really getting myself... I don't feel like I'm getting myself across the way I want to today. I'm going to blame it on the heat again. Yeah, but I mean... Obviously, yeah, I know. That's totally different. It all depends on the situation and all that kind of stuff, you know? I'm not saying all the time or everything else like that. I mean, like I said, I was always someone that turned up early and stayed late. Yeah, I've sort of mentioned it before, but I just feel like I'm not coming across the way I want to. Because I believe in working hard, putting in the best effort you can, not only for anything but for yourself. You know? No, you're walking away from a job knowing that you put in the best effort that you did in that job, so you got something to be proud of. On top of making the money. It's about making the money. You need a job to make money, that's life. But to actually have a bit of pride in what you do and all that, and know that you put every effort in, that's fine. It's just when you're doing all that and you're doing your best and doing a lot, and then your bosses come along and expect you to do more, well above what they're actually paying you per hour. But there's business things out there. You got booted. Yeah, I mean the shift. Well, as long as he's, I mean, you're still got to be paid for that. You're still a person, you know. I mean, if you work over and all that kind of stuff.